Coming up, Congress reviews the Cyber Ninjas audit of Maricopa County's 2020 presidential election. We have coverage from our Washington bureau.
Plus, Senate lawmakers have agreed to temporarily extend the nation's debt limit.
And today, a town hall meeting held by Maricopa County civil rights leaders took place to talk about voting rights.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Raven Payne.
And I'm Rudy Cavazos. Thank you for joining us. Maricopa County officials were on Capitol Hill today to defend the county's handling of the 2020 election. Congressional Democrats attacked a state Senate audit of those elections as part of the big lie Donald Trump won the election. Simon Williams has the back and forth from our Washington bureau.
It's been almost a year since the 2020 elections have been questioned by a controversial audit in Maricopa County. But if viewers thought a 4-hour hearing would answer all of the questions, they were sorely mistaken.
I was asked who won in Arizona. I don't know.
That was one of 3 times Gilbert Representative Andy Biggs cast doubt on the election of President Joe Biden. Even though the Cyber Ninjas audit said Biden won Maricopa County, Republicans insisted the audit raised more questions. But Democrats said the only reason Republicans continue to raise questions is to erode confidence in the electoral process.
It's pretty clear that their goal was not to conduct an honest audit.
Biggs controlled most of the time for the GOP and directed most of his questions to Ken Bennett, the state Senate liaison to Cyber Ninjas. He said election audits should be welcomed.
Elections are how we give our consent of the governed, as stated in the Declaration of Independence, and there's strong feelings as to, whether elections are conducted with integrity because they have consequences.
But Maricopa County Supervisors Jack Sellers and Bill Gates stressed that they, even as elected Republicans, stand by the results of the election and the 2 statutory audits the county completed before Cyber Ninjas got involved.
So we understand that we're taking a different tact here, but we're speaking the truth. And we are defending the actions that were taken by our election workers, and we're defending the rights of each and every one of us in Arizona who voted.
Many Democrats, including Arizona's Greg Stanton, made it a point to mention Cyber Ninjas CEO Doug Logan was invited to testify, but declined. The Cyber Ninjas documents were submitted to Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich last month. Brnovich isn't the only one still looking into the election. Chair Carolyn Maloney said she would help Maricopa County in any way she could. In Washington, Simon Williams, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Attorney General's office says it sent the Cyber Ninjas report to its election integrity unit, which has sent a list of questions to the state Senate, but no schedule has been set for next actions on the report.
According to the Brennan Center for Social Justice, as of October 4th, 18 states enacted laws that restrict access to voting. That includes Arizona's legislation regarding mail-in ballots. Maricopa County civil rights leaders held a town hall today to call on Congress for election protection legislation. A number of new laws impact voting in Arizona, including one passed in May that will remove people from the early voting mail list if they don't cast a ballot once every 2 years. Community members and some Democratic lawmakers are pushing 2 federal voting rights acts, the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. They feel these laws will protect and increase voting rights among all Arizona voters.
As we said, voting is a human right, and there should not be obstacles placed that people have to, these extra hoops that folks have to jump through in order to exercise their basic right to vote.
The John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act passed the House and is now being debated in the Senate. Dr. Hardin is optimistic that it will be passed. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says both parties in the upper chamber have reached an agreement to temporarily increase the country's debt limit. Democrats on Capitol Hill accepted the offer that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell made yesterday, who said that the Senate is moving forward. The agreement allows for raising the debt ceiling by about $480 billion, according to a Senate aide close to the negotiation. Lawmakers will revisit the debt limit in December before the holiday recess.
The Phoenix Police Department is currently facing a shortage of officers. During the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year, the department lost about 200 officers. Overall, the department only has around 3,000 officers. Recruitment is also down, making it difficult to get those numbers back up. The department is still offering $7,500 bonus for new recruits who are hired. A new FBI report says hate crimes increased in Arizona during 2020. According to the report, Arizona saw 282 hate crimes in 2020, up from 209 the year before. 70% of the incidents were motivated by race, with Black Americans targeted most frequently. The federal agency says hate crimes are the highest priority of its civil rights program. To encourage people to report hate crimes to law enforcement, the FBI in Phoenix is launching a hate crimes awareness campaign throughout the state. It will include paid advertising on social media, billboards, and local news outlets. To report a federal hate crime, go to tips.fbi.gov.
A Phoenix initiative that serves locally sourced meals to vulnerable communities will extend into 2022. Local First Arizona launched Feed Phoenix in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The program hires local restaurants and caterers to prepare nutritious meals using produce grown in Arizona. According to its 2020 report, Feed Phoenix served more than 80,000 meals and distributed nearly 5,500 bags of fresh produce. Families who received the meals were in the lowest income bracket and had been affected by COVID-19.
Last month, Pfizer submitted its children vaccine trial data. Now, they're requesting emergency approval to vaccinate kids. We'll explain the process coming up.
And a new Phoenix initiative to bring broadband internet access to students is underway. We'll explain how this could help virtual learning after the break.
Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Before Professor Halden, I had an insane amount of passion, but I almost felt helpless because I didn't know how to use it. Professor Halden gave me a chance to make a difference. Being at a place like ASU allows you to take these big leaps. Ultimately, the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved alone.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Today, Pfizer requested emergency approval for their vaccination to be used on children between the ages of 5 and 11. Last month, Pfizer submitted details on their vaccine trials for children and said it was safe and creating an antibody response. Now, Pfizer and BioNTech are waiting for the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to respond. The FDA scheduled a meeting for October 26 to discuss the children's vaccine. After they okay it, CDC advisors will decide whether or not to recommend the shot. If Pfizer receives the green light, they'll be the first COVID-19 shot available for younger kids.
During the pandemic, thousands of Arizona students went without Wi-Fi access. Cronkite News reporter Kylie Cochran shows us how a City of Phoenix solution is addressing the digital divide for good.
In 2020, Common Sense Media found that nearly 30% of Arizona students lack sufficient access to Wi-Fi during distance learning. Now, a collaboration between the City of Phoenix and several Phoenix schools will provide free Wi-Fi in students' homes.
I call it a silver lining of COVID.
After a challenging year of distance learning, things are looking up for Phoenix students and their families.
All students should have access to education.
As a former teacher, Phoenix District 4 Councilwoman Laura Pastor knows all about education and equity.
Our workforce is being halted because they don't have the access to the education that they need, and they're not going to come out prepared for the workforce.
The city of Phoenix, Phoenix College, and neighboring school districts have teamed up to create the Phoenix Digital Education Connection Canopy.
It's a broadband canopy. It's a canopy of coverage.
Paul Ross from Phoenix College is the brain behind the technology.
Proof of concept we're working on right now is really a 4 square mile area.
Infrastructure, like this 80-foot pole that's been installed here at Maryville High School, is one of 7 new locations, bringing the internet home to students.
We can actually send the Wi-Fi signal out. So we can send the signal out to be able to connect to the routers that we would give the student for them to use in their home to connect back to our radio station.
The broadband network is designed to provide free Wi-Fi to 250,000 students from preschool through community college. That includes students in the Cartwright district, where Victoria Farrar works.
We are a very low-income community. More than 85% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch according to federal standards.
That's why this technology matters more than ever.
There's no going backwards to being disconnected from the world. We are a global community.
About $34 million in CARES Act money is funding the initial effort. Individual schools will then maintain the technology.
The most exciting thing is that not only will it happen in Phoenix, we're going to give everybody the playbook to do it in every other city in the state.
Right now, the project is in phase 1. The technology will continue to be rolled out across Phoenix over the next few years, supporting 13 area districts. In the studio, Kylie Cochran, Cronkite News.
There's a change coming in the forecast. A cooling trend begins tomorrow for at least the next 10 days. ALYSSA Stoney is in the Weather Center with the details.
Well, for us here in Phoenix, it might not be time to grab those jackets just quite yet, as it's going to be 91 degrees still here tomorrow in Phoenix. But if you're heading up to the northern part of our state, we're going to be at 59 degrees in the Grand Canyon, 61 degrees in Flagstaff, and 74 degrees down in Sedona. If you are heading up north for the weekend, pay attention to this rain that is going to be moving through the Kingman and Grand Canyon area. Also may be seeing some rain here in Flagstaff. Down in Phoenix, we are not going to be seeing any rain in our forecast, but we may have some cloud coverage. Looking at your temperatures for tonight, we're going to be a little bit cooler with 87 degrees at sunset, and when we get to 10 p.m., we're going to be at 79 degrees with some cloud coverage and some slight wind, but nothing too crazy. Now, those cooler temperatures are on their way. As you can see, on Saturday, we are going to be at 85 degrees, and on Sunday, we're going to be at 83 degrees. Moving into next week, we can say that those 100-degree temperatures may be out of our forecast, but you never know here in Phoenix. On Tuesday, we're going to be at 72 degrees, and on Wednesday, we'll be at 76 degrees. Our lows are going to be in the 50s, so it might be nice to take a walk in the morning or the evening. In the Weather Center, ALYSSA Stoney, Cronkite News.
I'm Jack Johnson. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Here's what's on deck. Captains from a high school located here in the Valley are heading to Division I universities to continue their volleyball careers.
Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Dranchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Before Professor Halden, I had an insane amount of passion, but I almost felt helpless because I didn't know how to use it. Professor Halden gave me a chance to make a difference. Being at a place like ASU allows you to take these big leaps. Ultimately, the biggest problems in the world cannot be solved alone.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
Welcome back. I'm Jack Johnson, and here is your Cronkite Sports Report. The Mercury had a chance last night to punch their ticket to the WNBA Finals, but a dominant Aces run even up the series and makes way for a pivotal Game 5. The two teams battled back and forth in the first half, with neither team gaining the upper hand. But that all changed in the third quarter, when the Aces went on a 24-0 run. Las Vegas' three-point lead was expanded to 27 points in just 6 minutes. Even with the Suns cheering on courtside, the Mercury fell by a score of 93-76. Guard Diana Taurasi spoke on what went wrong for the Mercury in their defeat.
I didn't even know what was happening. That's how I felt. I mean, look, the things that we did in the previous two games, we just did not lock in and do. You know, Raquana got off, Chelsea got off. You know, Asia had, a great night. So, you know, and you can't have that. You can't have multiple people do that if you expect to win. So,
Hamilton girls volleyball won its first ever state championship last year, and now the #1 team in the state is looking to repeat. Cronkite News reporter Cam Dyer tells us how the three captains, who are both Division I bound, are helping to keep the team focused.
It's easy to get distracted, especially when you're heading off to play volleyball at USC. But Hamilton senior Jordan Middleton is one of 3 captains who doesn't want to leave without another state title.
Everyone's really focused in this year, especially for winning the state championship. Especially since last year was our first year, I think if we got another two-peat, that would just make whole, like a brand new history. It would be great for Hamilton.
The road to a repeat starts with the camaraderie that Middleton and her co-captains Micah Grinowicz and libero Tatum Thomas have helped cultivate. It's a recipe Coach Sharon Vanis didn't want to change.
It's a good team with great chemistry, and we didn't add anybody from last year, and we could have maybe, but we lost 2 seniors, but we didn't add anybody because of that. That chemistry was built, and it got to take you a long way in volleyball.
Something else that will take you a long way in volleyball is dominant outside hitters, and Hamilton has a plethora. While some players might be intimidated by competition, this group knows iron sharpens iron.
I've been close with Jordan since I think like 8th grade, and I think I wouldn't be the player I am right now if I didn't have her with me, because I want to be as good as her. She competes with me, but we just make it so fun together.
It's awesome being able to play with such dominant pin hitters and just such dominant like athletes. It's so cool, like playing with them, knowing like whenever they go out, they'll put the ball away.
Before taking their talents all across the country, Middleton to Southern California, Grinowicz to Alabama, and Tatum Thomas to GCU, they're focused on winning every match for the Huskies. And striking fear into the opponent while doing it. In Chandler, Cam Dyer, Cronkite News.
The reigning champs have won 20 in a row. Hamilton is hosting the Geico Girls Volleyball Invitational with high-ranked teams from Ohio, Kentucky, and California as they hope to extend their win streak. If you're looking to watch these talented players, the tournament will be aired nationally by ESPN. Many former NFL players suffer from post-career health issues and are left with very little medical assistance. Cronkite News reporter Jackson Coppinger tells us how one NFL Hall of Famer is helping to change that through his Gridiron Greats program.
Brian Urlacher recently held his Gridiron Gala at Mountain Shadows Resort in Paradise Valley. The fundraiser helps raise awareness for former NFL players enduring physical and financial troubles.
It's crazy the lack of resources, I guess, that these guys have who played back in the day, who kind of paved the way for the players now. So it's just nice to bring attention to them and maybe get people aware of what's really going on with them.
The event featured a silent auction for sports memorabilia to help the cause, and former Sun Devil and NFL tight end Zach Miller was one of the many players in attendance.
Guys before us kind of made the game, and so it's a little chance for me to give back to the guys that came before me. All these guys I watched growing up as a kid. Even Brian Urlacher, I played against as a rookie, was like a whoa moment.
Urlacher recognized the number of former NFL players that are now living in the Phoenix area, and is happy to build that community for the players who came before him.
There's a lot of players, ex-players that live out here. I run into guys all the time who played in the NFL, so it's just nice to I guess, bring awareness to the foundation that we have out here in Arizona.
No better way to support the trailblazers of the game than joining the Gridiron Greats community and maybe even snagging a signed ball or two from the Chicago Bears great. In Paradise Valley, Jackson Coppinger, Cronkite News.
The event generated more than $100,000 with proceeds supporting the Gridiron Greats Foundation. That'll do it for this Cronkite Sports Report. Rudy and Raven, let's send it back over to you.
A lifeguard shortage left pools understaffed this past summer. Find out what cities are doing now to avoid shortages in the future.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
As the pool season winds down, many pools are already starting to think about next summer, especially when it comes to staffing their facilities. Across the nation, there is a lifeguard shortage. In fact, Cronkite News reporter Alexa Gliddick tells us this past summer, some pools were forced to close, others operated at 75% of lifeguards.
Keeping kids safe in pools is a domino effect, with swim lessons and lifeguards adding another level of safety in the water.
We really try, as does every other facility, to make sure that you have the correct ratio of lifeguards on the side of your pool protecting your citizens.
But keeping enough lifeguards on stand has been a reoccurring issue this year. The nationwide worker shortage also hit pools.
And it has really been a challenge to compete with the other industries who are able to perhaps pay more.
Horner mentions that often lifeguards are young adults who aren't focused on working and instead treat their job as a side activity.
Students that come are very busy students, engaged in a multitude of activities.
Pool managers are trying to emphasize the benefits of lifeguarding, including the fact that it teaches great life skills. Lifeguards go through extensive training in order to qualify. The issue with the lack of lifeguards Many facilities try to establish a deeper connection with their employees in order to create a family-like atmosphere that they want to come back to year after year.
We train them, we move with them, we grow them, we nurture them, because that is really important.
Sometimes it's just as simple as letting the guards know they're appreciated.
I don't think I ever said thank you enough.
In Tempe, Alexa Gliddick, Cronkite News.
Cities across the valley will soon offer certification classes for new lifeguards. The city of Phoenix has discounted classes that cost just $20 starting next week. The minimum age is 15 for many lifeguard positions.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.